Self-reliance is about more than just doing things on your own. It's about trusting in your own abilities, your own voice, and your own instincts. It's the belief that you have within you everything you need to succeed, to rise above the challenges, to make it through the storms. When you rely on yourself, you stop looking for someone else to save you because you understand that you are enough. You stop waiting for approval or validation because you know your path and your purpose are uniquely yours. There will be times when you feel the weight of the world pressing down on you, when the people you thought would stand by your side are nowhere to be found. It's in those moments that self-reliance becomes your lifeline. You don't crumble under the pressure because you know how to hold yourself up. You've learned to build strength in the silence, to find peace in the solitude. And in doing so, you've discovered that you don't need a crowd to feel powerful. The power has always been inside you. Self-reliance is not the absence of relationships or the rejection of help. It's the understanding that while others may walk beside you, they cannot walk for you. Your journey is yours alone. The successes, the failures, the lessons learned along the way, they belong to you. And because they belong to you, only you can shape them. Only you can decide how far you'll go. It's this mindset that allows you to take ownership of your life, to become the author of your own story. When you're self-reliant, you learn to trust your instincts even when the world is telling you otherwise. You stop second-guessing yourself because you know your decisions come from a place of wisdom, not fear. The opinions of others no longer hold the weight they once did. You begin to realize that seeking approval from the outside only weakens the power you hold within. And so you let go of the need to please others, focusing instead on staying true to yourself. With self-reliance comes a deep sense of confidence, a kind of confidence that can't be shaken by the ups and downs of life. It's not arrogance, it's certainty. Certainty that you can weather the storm, certainty that you can adapt, evolve, and grow. It's the kind of confidence that allows you to step into the unknown without fear, because you've already proven to yourself that no matter what comes, you will find a way. In this world, there will be times when people disappoint you, when they fail to show up in the ways you expected. But self-reliance teaches you that these moments don't define you. You don't fall apart when others fall away because you were never leaning on them to begin with. Your foundation is built on something stronger, something that can't be shaken by the actions or inactions of others. When you rely on yourself, you become unstoppable. Not because you're invincible, but because you understand that every setback, every failure, every obstacle is just another opportunity to grow. You don't fear failure because you know it's a stepping stone to success. You don't fear mistakes because you know how to learn from them. And you don't fear the unknown because you trust in your ability to figure it out. Self-reliance is freedom. It's the freedom to make your own choices, to live life on your own terms, and to chart your own course. It's the freedom to walk away from what no longer serves you, to let go of what holds you back, and to step fully into your power. And that power, it's yours, and no one can take it away from you. Loneliness and solitude are often confused, but they are not the same thing. Loneliness is a feeling, a deep sense of absence where you crave the presence of others but find yourself isolated. It can feel like a void, a yearning for connection that isn't there. Solitude, on the other hand, is a choice. It's a decision to be alone, not because you have no one, but because you want to be with yourself. In solitude, there is a peace, a clarity that loneliness can never bring. It's the difference between being lost in a crowd and being at peace in the silence of your own thoughts. Loneliness can be suffocating. It creeps in slowly, making you question your worth, making you wonder if something is wrong with you for being alone. It's a feeling of abandonment, a sense of being forgotten. But solitude is where you find your strength. In solitude, you choose to be alone because you understand the value of your own company. You aren't running from others, you're running toward yourself. It's not about the absence of people, it's about the presence of peace, of reflection, of growth. When you're lonely, you feel the weight of time. The hours stretch on endlessly, and you find yourself counting the minutes, hoping for someone to fill the silence. But in solitude, time is your friend. It gives you the space to think, to breathe, to understand yourself on a deeper level. The quiet becomes a canvas for your thoughts, a place where you can explore your mind without distraction. Loneliness makes you restless, solitude makes you reflective. Loneliness seeks to be filled. You feel it gnawing at you, pushing you to seek out any company, even if it's not the right kind of company. It's a void that demands attention, a hunger that can make you settle for less than you deserve. Solitude, however, is fulfilling in itself. It doesn't seek to be filled by others because it is already full of your own presence, your own energy. In solitude, you find that you don't need to chase after others to feel complete because you are already whole. In loneliness, there's a sense of rejection. It makes you feel like you're on the outside looking in, disconnected from the world around you. But solitude reconnects you with yourself. It's not about being cut off, it's about being in tune with your own needs, your own desires. In solitude, you learn to listen to yourself in ways that aren't possible when surrounded by noise. It's where you hear the quiet truths of who you are and what you want. Loneliness can make you bitter, resentful even. It makes you look at others with envy, wishing you had what they have. It makes you long for what's missing. But solitude is different. Solitude is empowering. It teaches you that you don't need what others have to feel complete. It reminds you that your path is unique, that your journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Solitude is where you reclaim your narrative, where you stop measuring yourself by other people's standards. When you're lonely, you feel powerless. You feel like you're waiting for someone else to make it better, to fill the gap. But solitude is power. It's where you take control of your life, your time, your mind. It's where you realize that you don't need anyone else to bring you peace because peace comes from within. In solitude, you stop waiting and start creating and start creating. You create the life, the mindset, the future you want without waiting for others to guide you. Loneliness is a prison, a place where you feel trapped by the absence of others. It's a longing that makes you feel incomplete. But solitude is freedom. It's the space to grow, to reflect, to become more of who you are. In solitude, you are free to explore your own depths, to understand yourself without the noise of the world. Solitude is not about isolation, it's about liberation. It's where you find your true self, away from the distractions, away from the expectations, in the quiet of your own soul. Inner strength isn't something you're born with. It's something that's built over time through experiences, challenges, and adversity. It's forged in the fire of hardship and shaped by the weight of responsibility. It's that quiet force inside of you that keeps pushing forward even when everything around you tells you to stop. It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's the calm in the storm, the steady hand in chaos. Inner strength doesn't seek validation because it knows its own worth, and it grows stronger the more it is tested. When life throws its hardest punches, it's inner strength that keeps you standing. It's that voice inside that says you've been here before and you made it through. Its resilience. It's knowing that no matter how many times you get knocked down, you have the ability to rise again. Inner strength isn't about never falling, it's about the willingness to stand back up, to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's what allows you to face the unknown without fear, trusting that you'll find your way. Building inner strength often means facing situations where you feel powerless, but it's in those moments that you discover just how strong you are. It's when the odds are stacked against you that you dig deep and find reserves of strength you didn't even know you had. Inner strength isn't built when things are easy, it's built when you have to fight, when you have to persevere, when you have no choice but to rely on yourself. It's the ability to find light in the darkest moments, to hold on to hope when everything seems lost. Inner strength isn't about brute force, it's about endurance. It's the ability to keep going when the journey gets long, when the road gets tough, and when everyone else has given up. It's patience, the kind of patience that knows things won't always happen on your timeline, but trusts that they will happen when the time is right. It's the strength to wait, to keep working, to keep believing even when progress is slow. Inner strength is about understanding that the race isn't won in a single day, it's won by those who refuse to quit. It's also about self-discipline. Inner strength is what keeps you focused when distractions are everywhere, what keeps you on course when temptation tries to pull you off. It's the ability to say no when everyone else is saying yes, to stay true to your goals, even when the easier path is tempting. It's the power to control your emotions, to act with purpose rather than react impulsively. Inner strength is about making decisions that align with your values, no matter how hard those decisions may be. Inner strength is rooted in self-belief. It's the unwavering trust in your own abilities even when others doubt you. It's the courage to walk your own path, to pursue your own dreams, even when the world tells you it's impossible. It's about knowing that your worth isn't defined by external successes or failures, but by the strength of your character. Inner strength is quiet confidence. It doesn't need to prove anything to anyone because it knows its own power, its own potential. It's also the strength to be vulnerable. Inner strength doesn't mean you never feel pain or feel pain. But fear, it means you have the courage to face those emotions head on. to acknowledge them without being controlled by them. It's the strength to ask for help when you need it, to admit when you're struggling, and to allow yourself the grace to heal. Inner strength is about understanding that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's part of being human, part of growing, part of becoming even stronger. Ultimately, inner strength is the foundation of everything you do. It's what allows you to stay grounded when life feels overwhelming, to stay centered when everything around you is in flux. It's not just about physical endurance or mental toughness, it's about emotional resilience, the ability to maintain hope, faith, and determination in the face of adversity. Inner strength is what keeps you moving forward, not because the path is easy, but because you've developed the strength to carry on no matter what. Quality over quantity is a principle that applies to many aspects of life, but it's especially true when it comes to relationships and connections. It's easy to be surrounded by people, to collect acquaintances like tokens, but true connection is rare. What matters isn't how many people are in your life, it's the depth and meaning of the relationships you cultivate. Having a few people who genuinely care about you, who show up for you when it counts, is far more valuable than being surrounded by a crowd that doesn't understand your heart. Quality relationships feed your soul in a way that numbers never can. In a world that glorifies popularity, it's easy to feel pressure to expand your circle, to believe that the more people you know, the better off you'll be. But there's a difference between knowing a lot of people and being known by the right people. When you focus on quality, you invest in those who truly see you, who accept you for who you are, flaws and all. These are the people who challenge you to grow, who support you in your struggles and celebrate your victories. They aren't just present, they are invested. They care deeply. Quantity can be distracting. When you spread yourself too thin, trying to maintain too many connections, you lose the ability to focus on the relationships that really matter. It becomes about keeping up appearances, managing impressions, instead of building something real. Quality relationships, on the other hand, allow you to go deep. They give you the space to be vulnerable, to open up in ways that aren't possible when you're constantly trying to please everyone. With fewer but stronger connections, you can be your authentic self without fear of judgment. Choosing quality over quantity also means understanding that not everyone is meant to be in your life for the long haul. Some people are seasonal, they come into your life for a time, and when their purpose is fulfilled, it's okay to let them go. Holding on to every relationship out of a sense of obligation only weighs you down. When you prioritize quality, you make room for those who align with your values, your goals, and your journey. You learn that it's okay to outgrow people, and in doing so, you create space for relationships that nourish your soul. In a world obsessed with more, it takes strength to choose less but better. It takes discernment to focus on quality, to know when a relationship is adding value to your life and when it's draining you. It's not about closing yourself off, it's about being selective with your energy, understanding that your time and emotional bandwidth are precious. You can't pour into everyone, and not everyone deserves to have access to you. Prioritizing quality means protecting your peace, setting boundaries, and ensuring that your circle reflects the kind of life you want to build. Quality relationships are built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. These things take time and they can't be rushed. You can't force real connection, and you certainly can't manufacture it through sheer numbers. It's about shared experiences, loyalty, and a sense of reciprocity. You give and receive equally, and both parties grow together. When you choose quality over quantity, you create a foundation that can weather the storms, that can endure time and distance, because it's rooted in something real. Quantity often brings noise, while quality brings clarity. The more voices in your life, the harder it becomes to hear your own. Quality relationships, though fewer, amplify your inner voice. They don't drown it out, they help you tune into it. These are the people who encourage you to listen to yourself, who offer guidance without imposing their will. They respect your individuality and help you become more of who you are, not less. With quality, the focus isn't on fitting in. It's on thriving, and it's on thriving in your own unique way. Choosing quality over quantity isn't just about relationships with others, it's about your relationship with yourself. When you surround yourself with meaningful connections, you also reinforce your own self-worth. You stop seeking validation from the crowd and start recognizing the value in deeper, more authentic connections. You begin to understand that your worth isn't measured by the number of people who want to be around you, but by the depth of the relationships that truly matter. Quality is about enrichment, about building a life that feels full, not just looks full from the outside. Independence is the ability to stand on your own, to make decisions for yourself, and to trust in your own judgment. It's about claiming ownership of your life, your choices, and your path without relying on others to dictate your direction. True independence doesn't mean you never seek help or advice, but it does mean that you are ultimately responsible for your actions and your future. It's about understanding that your life is in your hands and no one else can live it for you. Independence empowers you to create the life you want on your own terms. When you're independent, you no longer need constant validation from others. You understand that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's approval. You don't make decisions based on what will please the crowd, but on what aligns with your values and your vision. Independence frees you from the pressure of fitting into molds that don't suit you. You're able to break away from expectations and carve out your own path, one that reflects your true self. It allows you to embrace your uniqueness without apology. Independence also brings a sense of freedom. It liberates you from the need to be attached to anyone or anything for your sense of security. Whether it's a job, a relationship, or a societal norm, independence gives you the courage to walk away from situations that no longer serve you. You're not afraid of being alone or facing challenges on your own because you know you can handle it. This freedom means you're not bound by fear of loss. You understand that what you truly need is within you, not outside of you. Financial independence is a major aspect of personal freedom. It's the ability to provide for yourself, to make choices without being dependent on someone else's resources. This type of independence allows you to live life on your own terms, free from the constraints that come with relying on others for support. It doesn't just give you control over your finances, it gives you control over your time, your energy, and your priorities. You can make decisions that reflect your values without worrying about how they will impact your financial security. Independence requires self-discipline. It's easy to follow the lead of others, to let them make decisions for you, but real independence comes from making those decisions yourself and being responsible for the outcomes. It means setting goals, sticking to them, and staying focused even when it's hard. Independence is about doing the work that needs to be done, not because someone is telling you to do it, but because you know it's necessary for your growth and your success. It's about taking control of your own destiny. Being independent also means being accountable. When you take control of your own life, you can't blame others for your mistakes or your circumstances. You understand that your choices have consequences, and you take responsibility for them. Independence means owning your failures as much as your successes, learning from your mistakes and using those lessons to grow stronger. It's about being honest with yourself about where you've fallen short and having the courage to correct your course. Independence doesn't mean isolation. It's not about shutting people out or refusing help when you need it. Instead, it's about knowing when to ask for support and when to stand on your own. It's about building relationships that are based on mutual respect and equality, where you give and receive help without feeling like you're dependent on anyone. Independence allows you to connect with others from a place of strength rather than need, and that creates healthier, more balanced relationships. At its core, independence is about confidence. It's the belief that you are capable of handling whatever life throws your way. It's trusting in your ability to make decisions, solve problems, and find your way even when things are uncertain. This confidence comes from knowing yourself, knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, and what you stand for. Independence builds a strong foundation of self-assurance, which allows you to face challenges without being overwhelmed by doubt or fear. Independence is also about setting boundaries. It's about knowing where you end and others begin and having the strength to protect your own space, time, and energy. Being independent means you don't allow others to control or manipulate you. You have the power to say no when something doesn't serve you, and you're not afraid to walk away from situations that compromise your well-being. Independence gives you the clarity to recognize when you need to prioritize yourself and the strength to act on that recognition. With independence comes a deep sense of self-reliance. You learn to trust your own abilities to solve problems on your own and to make decisions without constantly seeking advice or reassurance from others. It doesn't mean you don't value input from those you trust, but it does mean that you are capable of making your own choices even when others disagree. This self-reliance fosters resilience because you know that no matter what happens, you have the ability to handle it. You're not waiting for someone else to fix things for you. You take action yourself. Independence is about living authentically. It's about aligning your actions with your values and your goals without being swayed by external pressures. When you are independent, you make choices that reflect who you are, not who others expect you to be. You live in a way that is true to yourself, and that brings a deep sense of fulfillment. Independence allows you to create a life that feels right to you rather than one that fits into someone else's expectations. It's about being free to be yourself without compromise. Ultimately, independence is about empowerment. It's the ability to take control of your life, to make decisions that reflect your desires, and to take responsibility for the outcomes. It's about being proactive rather than reactive, taking the initiative to shape your future rather than waiting for it to happen. Independence gives you the strength to pursue your dreams, to take risks, and to create a life that is meaningful to you. It's not about avoiding challenges, it's about facing them head on, knowing that you have the power to overcome them. Overcoming judgment begins with understanding that people will always have opinions about you, whether you're doing well or struggling, whether you're succeeding or failing. Judgment is an unavoidable part of life. But what matters is how you respond to it. You can't control what others think or say, but you can control how much weight you give their opinions. Overcoming judgment means learning to detach from the need for approval, to stop letting other people's perceptions dictate your sense of worth. It's about focusing on your own path and staying true to yourself regardless of what anyone else says. Judgment often comes from people who don't fully understand your journey. They see a snapshot of your life and make assumptions based on limited information. But you are the only one who knows the full story, your struggles, your sacrifices, your reasons for making certain decisions. When you understand that others' judgments are often rooted in their own ignorance or insecurities, it becomes easier to let go of their opinions. You realize that their criticism says more about them than it does about you. Overcoming judgment is about trusting your own experience and wisdom over the shallow assessments of others. One of the keys to overcoming judgment is building confidence in yourself. When you have a strong sense of self-worth, the opinions of others lose their power over you. You stop seeking validation from external sources because you know who you are and what you stand for. Confidence isn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about being secure in your ability to learn, grow, and succeed on your own terms. The stronger your belief in yourself, the less you care about how others perceive you. Confidence becomes your shield against judgment. Judgment can also come from a place of fear, fear of being different, fear of standing out, or fear of being misunderstood. People often judge what they don't understand, and that's why they may try to box you into their limited worldview. Overcoming judgment requires the courage to embrace your uniqueness, to be different in a world that pushes conformity. It takes strength to walk your own path when others are pointing fingers, but it's that very difference that often leads to greatness. Instead of shrinking under judgment, you rise above it by owning your individuality. Part of overcoming judgment is learning to distinguish between constructive feedback and destructive criticism. There's a difference between someone offering helpful advice and someone tearing you down for their own satisfaction. Constructive feedback comes from a place of care, aimed at helping you improve, while destructive criticism is meant to undermine your confidence. Knowing the difference allows you to take what's helpful and leave the rest behind. You learn to filter out the noise, focusing on what helps you grow rather than what holds you back. It's important to remember that everyone experiences judgment at some point. No one is immune to it, no matter how successful or accomplished they may be. Even those who seem confident and self-assured face criticism from others. Understanding this universal truth can be freeing. It shows that judgment is not a reflection of your value, but a reflection of the human tendency to project opinions onto others. When you realize that judgment is not personal, it becomes easier to rise above it and keep moving forward with your head held high. Another aspect of overcoming judgment is cultivating compassion for others and for yourself. People often judge because they are projecting their own insecurities, fears, or frustrations onto you. When you understand that judgment often comes from a place of pain or misunderstanding, you can respond with empathy rather than anger or defensiveness. Compassion allows you to let go of the bitterness that judgment can create. At the same time, it's important to be compassionate with yourself, recognizing that you don't need to be perfect to be worthy of respect and love. Overcoming judgment also requires letting go of the need to explain yourself to others. Often we waste energy trying to justify our choices or actions to people who may never understand or support us. The truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for how you choose to live your life. When you are confident in your decisions and grounded in your values, you don't feel the need to seek approval or permission from others. Freeing yourself from the burden of explanation allows you to focus on living authentically and in alignment with your own truth. Judgment can sometimes cause self-doubt, making you question your path or your abilities, but overcoming judgment is about reclaiming your power from that doubt. It's about remembering that you are the author of your own story, and no one else gets to dictate the narrative. Self-doubt can be paralyzing, but when you push past it and trust in your own abilities, you find the strength to continue moving forward, even in the face of criticism. Every step you take with confidence chips away at the power judgment has over you. Overcoming judgment also involves surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you. When you have a strong support system, the voices of judgment lose their volume. The people who truly care about you will offer guidance, encouragement, and honest feedback without tearing you down. They understand your journey and respect your choices, even if they don't always agree with them. Building relationships with those who believe in you helps to counterbalance the negative impact of judgment from others who don't have your best interests at heart. It's essential to focus on your progress rather than seeking perfection. People often judge harshly when they expect perfection from others, but perfection is an illusion. Overcoming judgment means accepting that you are a work in progress, always evolving, always growing. You'll make mistakes along the way, but those mistakes are part of your journey, not reasons for judgment. When you shift your focus to progress, you allow yourself the grace to learn and improve without being weighed down by the fear of judgment. Growth, not perfection, becomes your guiding principle. Lastly, overcoming judgment is about resilience. It's about developing the mental and emotional toughness to keep going, even when others doubt you, criticize you, or try to pull you down. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep pursuing your goals despite the obstacles in your path. When you are resilient, judgment loses its sting. You understand that it's just one more hurdle to overcome on your way to success. Resilience gives you the strength to persevere, to keep moving forward, and to trust that your determination will carry you where judgment never could. Vision is the ability to see beyond your current circumstances and imagine what could be. It's that inner compass that guides you toward your goals, even when the path isn't clear. Vision is what separates those who simply exist from those who truly live with purpose. It's about having a clear sense of where you're going, not just in the immediate future, but in the long term. Vision gives your life direction, and with that direction comes the motivation to keep pushing forward, no matter how tough things get. Vision is the foundation on which all great achievements are built. When you have vision, you can see possibilities where others see obstacles. Vision allows you to think beyond limitations and focus on what's possible. It's about believing in something bigger than yourself, something that might seem impossible to others but feels inevitable to you. This belief, this faith in your vision, is what drives you to take risks, to push boundaries, and to keep going even when others have given up. Vision is the fuel that powers innovation, creativity, and progress. It's what helps you create a life that's not just good, but extraordinary. Focus, on the other hand, is what turns vision into reality. Vision gives you the destination, but focus is what gets you there. It's the ability to block out distractions and concentrate on what matters most. Without focus, even the greatest vision can fall apart because there's no sustained effort driving it forward. Focus requires discipline. It means saying no to the things that don't align with your vision and dedicating your time and energy to the things that do. Focus keeps you on track when the road gets rough and helps you maintain momentum when progress feels slow. Vision without focus is just a dream. It's easy to get caught up in big ideas and grand plans, but without the daily commitment to putting in the work, those ideas remain out of reach. Focus is what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It's what turns dreams into action. Focus sharpens your vision, helping you break it down into manageable steps that you can work toward each day. It's about understanding that success isn't achieved in one giant leap, but in the small, consistent actions you take over time. Focus also requires clarity. You can't be focused if you're not clear about what you're focusing on. It's not enough to have a general sense of direction. You need to be specific about your goals, your priorities, and your plan. Focus forces you to get clear on what you really want, to cut through the noise and distractions, and hone in on the most important tasks. When you're focused, you don't waste time on things that don't move you closer to your vision. You become laser focused on what matters, and that precision allows you to make faster, more meaningful progress. There will always be distractions trying to pull you away from your vision. Life is full of noise, people's opinions, societal expectations, day-to-day obligations. Focus is the skill that allows you to tune out that noise and stay locked in on your purpose. It's the ability to maintain your course even when the world is throwing distractions in your path. Focus requires the strength to say no, to set boundaries, and to protect your time and energy. It's about being intentional with how you spend your days, making sure that every action aligns with your greater vision. Having vision and focus doesn't mean you won't face setbacks. In fact, challenges are inevitable. But when you have a strong vision, those challenges become part of the process rather than roadblocks. Focus allows you to navigate obstacles without losing sight of your destination. It's about being adaptable, learning from setbacks, and continuing to move forward with determination. Vision gives you the resilience to stay hopeful, while focus gives you the discipline to keep working. Together, they create a powerful combination that allows you to overcome anything in your path. Vision also inspires others. When people see that you are focused and driven, they become inspired by your determination and clarity of purpose. Vision attracts like-minded people who want to be part of something bigger. It creates a ripple effect, drawing in the support, resources, and opportunities that help you achieve your goals. Focus shows others that you're serious about your vision, that you're willing to put in the work and stay committed even when it's difficult. Vision may start with you, but it has the power to influence and uplift everyone around you. Focus, in turn, requires patience. Achieving a vision takes time, and focus keeps you from getting discouraged when results don't come immediately. It's easy to lose sight of the long-term goal when progress is slow or setbacks occur, but focus helps you stay the course. It reminds you that success is a marathon, not a sprint, and that each step you take is moving you closer to your goal. Patience allows you to stay focused on the bigger picture, even when the day-to-day grind feels tedious or unproductive. Vision and focus also bring balance. Vision helps you dream big and imagine the life you want, while focus helps you stay grounded in the present, working toward that future. It's the balance between dreaming and doing, between planning and executing. Vision pulls you forward while focus keeps you disciplined. Together, they create a sense of balance that allows you to achieve greatness without losing sight of the present moment. This balance is what helps you stay motivated and energized, even when the journey is long. Focus isn't about working nonstop, it's about working smart. It's about knowing when to push and when to rest, understanding that balance is key to sustainable success. Focus allows you to be efficient with your time and energy, making sure that you're putting your resources into the right places. It helps you avoid burnout by keeping you aligned with your vision, reminding you that it's not about doing everything, but doing the right things. Focus helps you conserve energy for what truly matters, allowing you to maintain a steady pace toward your vision. Ultimately, vision and focus are inseparable. Vision gives you the purpose, the dream, the destination, while focus gives you the roadmap to get there. They work hand in hand, pushing you to think big, but also to stay grounded in the steps it takes to achieve those big dreams. Vision without focus is wishful thinking, and focus without vision is aimless effort. But together they create the power to turn dreams into reality. They give you the ability to not only imagine a better future, but to take the steps necessary to make it happen day by day with purpose and clarity. Finding strength in being unseen means recognizing the power that comes from working in silence, away from the spotlight. There's a unique strength in not needing the validation or recognition of others to feel accomplished. When you're unseen, you are free from the pressures of external expectations, and that gives you the room to grow, experiment, and make mistakes without fear of judgment. It's in the unseen moments where some of the most important personal growth happens. When no one is watching, you can truly focus on becoming the best version of yourself for yourself. In a world that constantly seeks attention and approval, being unseen can feel like an act of defiance. Society often equates visibility with success, but true strength comes from within. When you're unseen, you are less concerned with how others perceive you and more focused on your own journey. It's not about impressing anyone or proving yourself. It's about staying dedicated to your path, even when no one is clapping for you. That quiet dedication, that commitment to self-improvement becomes a source of strength that runs deep. There is freedom in being unseen because it allows you to work without distraction. When you're out of the public eye, you can concentrate fully on your goals without the noise of opinions or the pressure to meet anyone's expectations. You are free to make mistakes, to fail, and to try again. This freedom allows for genuine creativity and innovation because you're not afraid of what others will think. In being unseen, you find the space to take risks, knowing that the journey is yours alone to define. Strength in being unseen also comes from the resilience it builds. When you're not constantly seeking validation from others, you develop a deeper sense of self-worth. You learn to rely on your own judgment and instincts rather than waiting for approval or applause. This internal validation is powerful because it doesn't waver with the opinions of others. It's consistent and strong, rooted in your own belief in yourself. This kind of resilience is unshakable because it's not built on external praise, It's built on the quiet confidence that you're on the right path, regardless of who's watching. Being unseen forces you to become your own biggest supporter. When the crowd isn't there to cheer you on, you learn to motivate yourself. You discover that your strength doesn't come from outside sources, but from within. You stop depending on others to lift you up because you learn how to lift yourself. This self-reliance creates a solid foundation that no external circumstance can shake. When you're unseen, you realize that the only person who truly needs to believe in you is yourself. And that realization is incredibly empowering. There's also a certain humility that comes with being unseen. It teaches you that your value doesn't depend on being noticed or acknowledged. You don't need to be in the spotlight to make an impact. Some of the most meaningful work happens behind the scenes, where no one is looking. When you're comfortable being unseen, you understand that greatness isn't about public recognition. It's about the quiet, consistent effort that you put in day after day. It's about knowing your worth, even if the world hasn't yet caught on. Finding strength in being unseen is about embracing patience. When you're unseen, you understand that growth takes time and that the results won't always be immediate or visible. It's easy to get discouraged when you feel like your efforts are going unnoticed, but being unseen teaches you to trust the process. You learn to stay focused on your goals, knowing that the work you're doing will pay off in time, even if the rewards aren't visible right away. Patience becomes a source of strength because it allows you to stay the course, even when progress feels slow. Being unseen also allows you to cultivate a deep sense of focus. Without the distraction of attention, you can zero in on your work with a level of intensity that's difficult to achieve when you're constantly being observed. This focus becomes a superpower, allowing you to dig deep into your craft, to master your skills, and to achieve things that might not have been possible if you were constantly seeking validation. In the unseen moments, you find the space to develop a level of discipline and mastery that can only come from quiet, concentrated effort. The strength you find in being unseen is often quiet and internal, but it's no less powerful. It's the kind of strength that allows you to keep going, even when no one is watching. It's the strength that keeps you moving forward, even when the road is long and difficult. When you're unseen, you develop an inner fortitude that can't be shaken by setbacks or obstacles. You learn that your strength doesn't come from outside recognition, but from your own determination and resilience. Being unseen also teaches you the value of authenticity. When you're not constantly in the spotlight, you're free to be yourself without the pressure to perform or conform to others' expectations. This authenticity becomes a source of strength because it allows you to stay true to who you are, even when the world isn't watching. You don't have to put on a show or pretend to be something you're not. In being unseen, you learn to trust that who you are is enough, just as you are, and that realization gives you a deep sense of peace and confidence. There's also a certain power in surprise. When you've been working in silence, unseen by others, your success becomes even more impactful when it finally comes to light. There's strength in keeping your progress to yourself, allowing your work to speak for itself when the time is right. You don't need to broadcast your efforts because the results will be undeniable. This kind of quiet power, built over time and out of the spotlight, can be far more impactful than any momentary recognition. When you finally emerge, your strength will speak for itself. Ultimately, finding strength in being unseen is about understanding that true power doesn't need to be displayed to be real. It's about knowing that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone but yourself. It's about trusting that your hard work, your dedication, and your quiet resilience will pay off in the end, even if the world doesn't see it right away. Strength isn't always loud or visible. Sometimes it's found in the quiet moments of persistence, in the solitude of staying true to your path, even when no one else is looking.